Okay, hello there. I want to quickly go through using the graphing calculator so we can input x and y variables, graph them, and determine whether there's any correlation. So here are the steps. You can use this as a reference, pause, and fill in any gaps or adjust any steps that are confusing you. Here we go. So first thing, turn this graphing calculator on. Okay, and it actually says memory cleared because I did it earlier. The first thing you should do is clear the memory. So here it says mem, so you want second mem. For me it's 5, sometimes it's 7. All memory, 2, and the memory's cleared. Now since we're going to use regression, and we're going to use the R or R squared, we need to turn on the diagnostics. So that's in the catalog. Second catalog, go down to diagnostic. Okay, and you want to hit enter on diagnostic on. There's once. You have to do it again so it says done. Okay, you can clear that if you want. Next, we have X temperature data and Y waiting time. This is from the practice quiz. So let's get that data into the graphing calculator. We hit stat, and we want to go into the edit, number 1 edit. And there's L1 and L2. L1 is your X variable, in this case temperature. L2 is your Y variable. It's the waiting time to get on a ride in minutes. We have to get that in there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do all the X first. So 25. Okay, back up to the top, over to the L2. These are lists, list 1, list 2. Aha, clear that. It's 28. Important to note, if you get any of these wrong, you'll get a different scatter plot. And when you do the regression, you're going to get the wrong R value, A value, B value, R squared value, etc. You're going to be wrong. It's got to be correct coming into L1 and L2 so that your regression works. So it suits. Okay, I'm going to check these. Okay, perfect. Next thing we want to do is we want to see a graph or a scatter plot. So you go to graph and you won't see anything. That's because this x-axis defaults to go from -10 to 10 and the y-axis goes from -10 to 10. We can't zoom in on data like this because it's higher than 10, so we have to zoom. Best way, zoom, number 9, okay, zoom stat. But now you're like, well, I can't see anything. And that's because you actually have to turn these graphs on. Okay, so the order doesn't matter. We go into stat plot, which is sort of like the settings menu for stats. Second stat plot, number 1 here. We'll turn it on. It's cursoring on, so hit enter. Now it's on. You're gonna have this type of scatter. You're using list L1, L2, and those types of marks. Now you graph it. You gotta zoom again. It was zoom 9. There are your points. Okay, time to do the regression. Now, ask yourself, what fits this? Is it perhaps exponential? Maybe it's trigonometric. No, definitely not. Looks linear? Yeah, probably. I'd say it's linear. So let's try a linear regression. You go into stat. You want to calculate. So use cursor over. And number 4 is linear regression. So you can type 4, and it comes in. Now it asks you, it doesn't say anything, but it's asking you, what are we going to perform linear regression on? And you're going to do that on X and Y. X is list 1, Y is list 2. So you have to tell it that. Second list 1, use a comma. second list 2. The other thing you can do is, yes, it'll perform the regression. You'll get R, A, B, but you can also have it create the equation for you where it's stored in y equals. So you get the equation stored in y equals, and I'll show you how you do that. You add another comma here, and you tell it to use some variables, y variables, so cursor over, and you want a function. We'll use the first one, y1. So now it's going to do linear regression on all that data in L1, L2 and store the equation in y1. So after I hit enter here, there's the linear regression. Okay, let's go over and see the equation. It's right here. Okay, when you graph it now, the line appears. Last step is we actually want to know, I went too quick, what A, B, and R squared are. Okay, and discuss that. So let's go back. It's really easy. Go stat, calc will get you there, and it's still here. That gets you to this screen. So for our data, we find that the R value is 0.87, and that's pretty strong. Remember, R runs from -1 to 1. Greater than 0 is positive correlation, less than 0 is negative correlation. This is very strong. We only use R squared for non-linear regression. Okay, A and B, they form your line, so y equals ax plus b. Okay, note their values, go over to y equals, same values. Okay, and again, you can see the graph. If you wanted to trace and see where these points are, you can hit trace. Okay, lots more you could do. Anyhow, we mostly would want to comment on the regression, and these are the values we would expect you to find and also relate and discuss on our upcoming unit tests and evaluations. Hope this helps. Thanks.